Can you hear me? Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yep. So here I am just putting together my criteria for the property search I'm doing so that I can find comparable homes. So I'm going to put it obviously as narrow as I can. So we're going to hit search. We have 24 homes. So, let's pretend here that, these two we looked at and they're comparable. These two under contracts, I'm trying to stay in the same price point, same price range. And then here we have a few sold that we can use. So we've already vetted that these are the properties that we're going to use. Then you go over to view print.
Okay.
Okay, so down here, you see client CMA. That's what you want to check off.
Okay.
And it's going to say, it's going to give you an alert's going to come up that they're going to uncheck all other boxes, which is fine. So that you're not going to have any other reports checked off. It's just going to be specifically your client CMA report.
Okay.
Then I want to hit view. So here it is in a nice one-liner that's separated based on the status. So these are the homes that are active. These are the homes that are under contract, and these are the homes that sold that are comparable to that subject property. So down here, you want to put your client's name.
Now I know ideally it's 555 for sole active, sold under contract, but obviously in this market it doesn't work out so well. So do you just have to go with what they have pretty much?
Yes. Yeah. So we used to do 333. We used to try to get at least 3 actives, at least 3 under contract, and at least 3 sold. That was what our guide was, back when there was a lot of properties and a lot of inventory on the market. If you can get 5, that's great too. I mean, anything 3 or over, I think, as long as it's comparable, works out well. So
okay, I gotcha. Now, should you always stay within that township, or do you sometimes reach out to other towns in the area, or you know what I mean?
I've never ever went into a different town. Never. I've never had
Okay.
to in the past. I know now is a little bit tricky, but as far as I'm still, I mean, what I'm hearing, because we do have an agent in our office, Cheryl Towie, who is a great resource if you ever need help in comping something, and she's always happy to help. She used to be an appraiser.
Okay.
Yep. She lives in Warren County as well. So she's a great resource if you find yourself stuck trying to comp something. She can give you ideas and things. But I mean, and I mean, it used to be that they would only want to be in a mile radius of that property within the same town. They wouldn't even go to another part of the town if they could find comps in that same area. So appraisers are a little bit more specific than we are, but no, I've never had to go out of the town. Only time that I've ever heard of anyone doing that or the need to do that is if you're talking about a commercial property or a 4-family or more in a town where there just isn't any of them, there's a handful of them to begin with, then you'd have to go into it. But
now what exactly, I always wonder this, what exactly makes it so important that you have to stay within that town? You know what I mean?
I guess because, the school district is important to most people, right? And school districts vary by town. So that would be a reason why a town would, or a home would get more money or less money based on their school system, based on the demographics of the town. A town that's more diverse usually doesn't get as much in our area anyway, right? Because we're the suburbs, than a town that, is less diverse, right? So
Mhm.
there's all those different things. Your how easy your commute is to the city, right? The closer you're to the city, that home is going to get a lot more money than someone who's further away from the city, right? So there's a lot. So that's the reason why there's a lot of different
So
things
that's why, like,
on
that's
that.
why everything, okay, so that's why everything goes up dramatically, closer and closer you get to the city. That makes a lot,
Correct.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah, because someone who's commuting is not going to go far out. If they have to commute every day, they're going to come closer. So that's going to be more desirable and more people are going to do that. And then that brings those home prices up in that town. So,
Okay. Yeah, that helps a lot.
so I'm
Makes
just,
a lot more, helps make it a lot more sense.
of course, of course. And that's actually a great question. So I'm just making up all these little things here, you see. I didn't even put whether it was 2 baths, this or that. Obviously, you know how to do your comps and what to put in there. Let's see there. Okay, so I never put in a suggested retail price. Don't ever put in a list price. That's a conversation you have with them. Because once you put it in there and set in stone, if they're disappointed with it, you're never gonna be able to backtrack that because it's there in writing staring at them. So it's
Mhm.
always a conversation that you have. If you did any adjustments, if you knew to say, well, I could only find 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranches with 2 baths or a 2-car garage, and you don't have a garage, you want to adjust or something for that here, you would put that in the comments, just so that they understood why you're coming up with whatever you are.
Okay.
So once you do this, you hit finish. So you fill out all the information appropriately. And you want to do that because see on top of each status, it says subject property. And then that address that the subject property is right there. And then they can see all the information, compared to the other homes.
Okay.
So, so that's why you would want to do that. And then, what I used to do is I would say, okay, here is what the homes that are active, the homes that are under contract, and what's sold in the past 6 months or whatever criteria I put in. I would say the only ones we're going to be concerned with today are the homes that are sold. The reason being is because an appraiser is only going to use the homes that are sold. And we want to make sure that our value is the same as the home is sold. We don't know what these homes are going to sell for, and we don't know what these homes have sold for. Okay. So we can only use what actually closed, just like an appraiser does. Okay. So these are the ones we focus on.
Okay. So my question is, if that's the case, what makes actives and under wouldn't that make actives and under contracts not so important? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes and no. Yes, I do know what you mean. Active, you want to see what your competition is if you're putting your home on the market, right? So you want to see what the prices
Gotcha.
of the homes are, if that's your competition going in. What is currently under contract, again, since we don't know what they got, but you can see what their list price was, right? So have an idea of what they were listed at. So again, it just helps you guide your client to say, you want to be, if these are the homes that got offers and they're comparable to yours, this is the price you want to be around. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't underprice in this market. So if you stay where these are, we can drive up your price, in a bidding war, hopefully, right? Because the buyers, the buyers are going to dictate what your pricing is.
Yeah.
So here I would say, so based on these, the CMA, your list price should be somewhere around 485, and you should expect to get about 490. So I'm setting expectations. The average day on market is going to be about 26 days. Now we know that that is not a real number, and I would explain it to them. I'd say this isn't a real number because in this market we're getting multiple offers and we're getting contracts within a week. While the home is in attorney review, the clock is still ticking, and so that's why you're going to see these numbers higher than 7 days. So if they're in attorney review for 2 weeks, then that's when you're seeing a 26-day average. Okay, so it's because they're in attorney review, and until they go under contract, the clock doesn't stop ticking. So that's how you do this one. I feel is, I feel like it's easy. It's easier for you to do, and it's very simple for a seller to understand.
Okay. All right. My headphone like kind of went out for a second there. Here, I want to turn it off because sometimes it just glitches out. Can you just re-explain that very last part? I'm just gonna
Oh,
disconnect.
sure. So when I would be sitting with the sellers and I would explain to them that this is what we were going to be focusing on, the sales price, because that's what an appraiser is going to focus on. I would say, I suggest you list your home around 485 and you can expect to get about 490. Okay, the average down market is 26 days. It's actually less than that because we're finding homes going in attorney review within the first 7 days. But until it goes under contract, the clock keeps ticking. So that's why you see these numbers are a little higher, is because it depends on how long they're in attorney review. Until it goes under contract, that's when everything stops. That's when the clock stops. So, that's how I would explain it to them.
Okay. Thank you.
And another good piece for you to always bring, I don't know, I know you do a lot of phone calls. I don't know if you do door knocking or door hanging or if you're going on these appointments, but if you go into analysis right up here and go into NJR municipal stats, this is a great piece to bring to a seller. So the only thing is we're in April now and they haven't populated March's numbers yet, right? So you're usually about a month and a half behind. Probably in a week or so, March's numbers will be out, but still it's a good way to share with your clients. So let's just say it's in Roxbury, we're going to do. So here it shows year over year. So single family homes in 2021, there were 17 new listings. This year is 21. It's up 23% there. The median sales price is up 7.6%. Okay, so that's another good thing for people to gauge where their home price went to in the last year. Days on market went down 30%. The number of closed sales went up. So even though, we feel like we're in a deficit this year, we still had more homes come on the market in February and more homes go under contract. So the homes are just flying off the market so quickly that the inventory can never catch up. And that's why, we continue to stay low.
No,
So
I'm happy. Yeah. No, I'm happy you showed me this because I have this one client I've been, he's not very big on telephone calls. So I'm trying to send him as much mail as possible. So this gives me an idea of what something I could send him.
This to me is like one of the best pieces to send someone, especially someone who's analytical and wants to see the numbers.
Yeah.
So if they have a townhouse or condo, then there's a specific section for that. So it breaks it down, and then adult community. So there's no adult community in Roxbury, so you don't really see any of that information here. And then the chart here. I always suggest, Hayden, if you're going to send anything like this out, not in an email, obviously, because then they're getting it from you. But if you're going to do it in some type of mailing or door hangers or stuff, right in this part, put your business card or your logo or some information about you. You know what I'm saying? So that they keep it, then they always have it. You don't want to block where it says provided by New Jersey Realtors, because that's where they got their stuff from, right? So right somewhere over here, you can even block this over here because that disclosure is there, and just always make sure you market it, you're branding yourself, anything that you put out there. So if people keep it, they're not like, who sent it to me? Where do I find his number? It's like readily available.
Yeah, staple your business card to it or something. Correct.
I always tell agents they're going to go door hanging, put their business card, print one out, put your business card up there, and then print as many as you need with your business card up there. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's the simplest way to do it. So it also has the month supply of inventory, which is what our absorption rate is. So again, year over year. So go on.
Oh, no. I'm listening. Sorry.
Yeah. So absorption rate simply means if no other homes were to come on the market today, how many months would it take to absorb the current inventory? And then how you did that, if you want to do it yourself, because I do it for the office meeting every week, is you take the number of active listings in a town and you divide it by how many homes went under contract in the past 30 days. And that gives you your month's supply of inventory. Because it bases on how quickly those homes went under contract in the last 30 days. So that's a good indication again. You know, came into the market in 2006 and we were in a seller's market like this, except we had inventory. So it was a little different. And then we had the whole financial crisis afterwards. So it was just like, it was a mess. But I want to say 2007, 2008 absorption rate in towns like Long Valley was 12 months. Like you can expect to be holding on to a house for a year before someone bought it. So I mean, it's unprecedented times, but I mean, this is really still a great market, especially if you can get listings.
Yeah, that's been my primary focus is I'm trying to get listings.
Yes. And then one more thing I want to share with you, and you may already know this, but if I have you on the phone, I'm gonna tell you everything I know.
No, I appreciate it.
So I'm gonna go into my hot sheets just to see real quick. There's an expired listing. Here's withdrawn, temporary. Okay, let me just find expired real quick. Let's see, here's 12 expired listings. If you were going to be making expired calls, which you may do. What I want to share with you, and you can get this on any listing or you can search anything. Have you set up your Remind account in GSMLS?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so that I want you to do that tonight if you can. Will take you 2 seconds. So this house expired. I'm going to hit Remind, and because I'm already, you know, hooked in with the MLS, it's going to just take me right to that property. So here it tells me that it's expired. Usually when we do expireds on the MLS, you have to double check and make sure it didn't relist. It didn't, right? So now I know it expired and that it didn't relist. It's saying here that they have about an estimated of equity of 86,000, right? And that's based on what their valuation is of the house, which is just a computerized valuation, and what their last mortgage amount was. So here it tells you, this was the agent who I guess listed it recently. It says sale expired. I don't know if it's for sale or it's expired. It's very confusing. Tells you about, you know, a lot about the house, property history. Yeah, so it did expire on September 19th. Mortgage history. So in 2016, these sellers took out a mortgage of 133,000 on it. Okay, so if it's worth an average of 221, again, these are the sources that they've taken the estimates from and made an average valuation. So if we figured it's around 220, that's where they're getting the 83,000 equity. They're taking the 221 minus the 133 mortgage they took out in 2016 and giving you an estimate. But then down here, it says owners and associated people. And here's contact information. So here's the seller and here's his phone number. Here's 2 email addresses here's his wife and her information.
Okay.
So it's easy to get phone numbers now on this. So how you would get to it if you weren't going through a listing, you can do it through a listing, or you can do it, go up to the search bar here, click on to Remind. And then you can go into search and you can just search a property if you'd like up here. So I'll put this one, I just did this as an example for someone yesterday. And then you can search, and again, you can go down to the bottom, owners, associated people, and you can get contact information, make phone calls. And how are you doing it now? Do you have a Mojo system or something?
Every phone number that I've called, I've just been using Cold Realty, really.
Oh, okay. So this is another option to call if you can't find it in call.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is when you log into your Garden State, go into search, go into Remind, and then obviously you're gonna, you're not gonna log in, you're gonna sign up for the first time or create an account.
Okay.
Yeah, using your GSMLS credentials, that you're gonna use your GSMLS member number. And that's how you,
Okay.
yeah, because it's a free service. And I'm sure it does a lot more than I just showed you. And
Yeah.
I, every once in a while, go in and I go into support and I sign up for a webinar. And then I'm about to take the webinar and an agent runs into my office with the problem, and then I have to stop everything and I missed the webinar. So I have very good intentions every day, but it doesn't seem like. So I used to do a lot of these trainings at night for my dual career agents, and then they sort of like drifted off. And I was just talking to another agent, Yasmin, who I met earlier today, who's a dual career. And I said, Yasmin, would you be interested if I did a training once a week at like 6 o'clock? You know, do buyer's consultation, seller's consultation, GSMLS, everything that I know. And she said, I really would. So is that something you'd be interested in as well?
Yeah, I would. 6 o'clock is actually a more doable time for me.
Yeah, I would do
suppose-
6 or 6:30, whatever works for you guys. It doesn't matter for me at that point, because at least I'll be home and I could just, you know.
Yeah,
So
what days you thinking about doing that?
I gotta figure out the day. It's either gonna be a Monday or a Thursday.
Yeah, that'll be a much better time for me, because I'm always missing all these meetings and stuff. I have my other job, so it's just
Yes,
like,
of course. And that was understood. We knew that. Going
yeah,
in.
I know.
Yep. So, yeah. And then if there's certain things you guys want me to go over, you know, I'm happy to make that my training for the next week. So.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely will take you up on that offer.
Okay, good. So I'm gonna get that started. I'll send out, you know, I'll send something out this week. I'll put together and get it going.
I have one more other question.
Sure.
Before we end. So I found a bunch of FSBO and expired scripts to go by. Like, I'm very good at finding leads, but I can never seem to land an appointment. And I'm trying to find good scripts to go by. But do you know of any? Do they really do geo lead scripts at all?
So we have a whole, did you ever get, we have a whole, no, I wouldn't have it on this computer, but I could still find it for you real quickly. Dialogue booklet with every type of.
I know I think I found something way back, like in Weichert, my Weichert or Weichert one.
Mm-hmm.
That this is way back when I first started doing those trainings.
And you found this geo or the dialogue booklet that we had?
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember.
Trying to find out where I found it. And it has a lot of different scripts in it. Like everything you can think of. It's probably
Okay.
like 40 pages long.
It's an Accelerate.
I'm gonna find it for you. And then I'll just share it with you. Like I said, I think it's on my work computer. I have it downloaded, but I don't have it downloaded on this computer. Oh, I guess these are only the ones that are left. Okay, I could send it to you tomorrow because it's on my other computer.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So I'll be able to go back and watch this video. Do you send me the video or?
Yes, what I do is it'll download into my computer, then I upload it into YouTube because it's easier than for me to send. And I'll send you the
Gotcha.
link to YouTube.
All right, cool. Thank you very much.
And then one other thing, going back to your dialogue question, there's an agent in our office, Kevin Gaffney. And he has Mojo, and he makes expired for sale by owner calls daily. He does hundreds of them. He's a retired police officer. He's like you. He's not afraid to make phone calls, and he's learned by trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a lot of great scripts that he usually will share with you. I can connect you to.
Okay.
If that would help, I'll ask him to reach out to you. Because he's always, again, he's another one who's always willing to help anybody who needs help.
Yeah, I'll take you up on that.
Yeah, so he's awesome. He's really awesome. And then I would probably have him at one of my trainings too on the call, and he'll just make phone calls on the training. We used to do calls with Kevin.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Is he bald with glasses? Is
Yes,
that the-
yes, yes,
okay,
that's him.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
him.
yeah. I've seen him here and there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's
No,
a
I-
great, great guy, and he is so good. Like, he's just so calm, and like, there's people who have hung up on him, Hayden, and you know what he does? He calls back and he's like, "Oh, I think we got disconnected." Now he clearly knows they hung up on him, and then he gets the appointment. He's just like, he's that good. He's that good. Because he's, you know what? He worked on the streets. Like, he's afraid of somebody on the phone? I don't think so. You know?
Yeah.
You gotta think about what people have done in the past. So
Yeah.
I'll get you hooked up with him. So I'm writing it down right now because tomorrow morning I'll be like, I talked to Hayden last night. Kevin and Scripps dialogue. And then put together training. Okay. All right, perfect. Anything else you have questions about or you want me to share with you?
That is it for now, but when I have more questions, I'll definitely come to you.
Okay, awesome. Anytime.
All right. Thank you so
All
much.
right, Hayden. Talk to you soon.
Have a great night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.